Anyway, let's talk about the goalkeeper situation, because I think this is very, very interesting. We've been very fortunate this morning of having so many credible updates. As I said, we've spoken about Ornstein and Romano. There was actually a good goalkeeping update sort of yesterday evening. And essentially what it comes down to is, while that's doing that, Man United have got a bit of a choice when it comes to a goalkeeper. You've got experience and potential. So both Ben Jacobs and Fabrizio Romano, not on the same show, have both basically said that it's a choice between, in the experienced corner, Emi Martinez, and in the less experienced corner, Royal Antwerp's Lemens. Martinez brings you more capability in the now, whereas Lemens gives you a cheaper option with potential for the future. And that's sort of where Man United are at the moment. So I'm encouraged by this, because where we were a few weeks ago, you had the uneducated telling you that Man United, where is it that Man United actually want a new goalkeeper? And, you know, we've had bits over the last few months. And one of the first big bits we got in the March international break was that Amrim wants to replace Onana. It's not personal. He likes him, but he doesn't trust him as a goalkeeper. He wants his own guy. There's a lack of trust in the defence with him. And although he's a nice guy, they want to replace him. And Wilcox agrees with him. And that was back in March. And we've kept talking about this. And since then, other outlets have said the same thing. But there has been people going, well, where's the evidence that they actually want to get rid of Onana? Apart from the fact that he's shit, and we've all seen the evidence of that. Man United and most clubs are not normally in the habit of doing a statement saying we want to get rid of this goalkeeper. So we do want to get rid of the goalkeeper. And I think it's just been a little bit of patience through June and July. And now we're getting the truth that we always knew from March, that we want a goalkeeper and we don't want Onana. So I suppose the question is, are we going to go for the more expensive experience of an Emi Martinez, or are we going to go for the longer term, cheaper option of Lemens? If you go with Lemens, then Onana will probably stay for a short period of time and eventually be forced out. If you go for Martinez, it's a little bit more aggressive, it's a little bit more expensive, and Onana sort of has got about a month to try and get a move. I will back the club whatever they do. Doesn't mean I'm not going to have an opinion, and I can see there's plenty of opinions in the chat. I will back the club on this, on what they decide to do, because ultimately they've got to listen to Amrim.
Hello everybody, today's clip is supported by Sleeper. Before we dive in, let me tell you a bit more about Sleeper. This app is making serious waves. It was the #1 downloaded sports app in the US during the NFL season, even beating heavyweights such as ESPN and Yahoo. Sleeper isn't just popular, it's because they truly deliver the best fantasy experience. You get deeper customization, more league options, and all the bells and whistles that make managing your fantasy team a blast. But that's not all. Sleeper is growing a fantastic community with several million people using it daily for their sports fix. Sleeper has a broad appeal and is genuinely built for everyone. So, if you're looking to up your fantasy game, make sure to check out Sleeper by clicking the link in the video description. Trust me, you won't regret it.
I think we should have cashed in on Bruno, because I don't think he's a number 8, but Amrim didn't want to, so I'll back that decision. And I hope he's going to get proved right. If Amrim says, let's get Emi Martinez because I want an experienced goalkeeper, then let's do it. But if Amrim says, let's bring Lemens in, who's cheaper, who could be a brilliant goalkeeper for the next 5 years, but in the first year, he's going to have to battle it out with Onana, then let's do it. I just think that the encouragement that I would take is that we actually are looking at that scenario, and it's coming in from Ben Jacobs and Fabrizio Romano independently. So I think that's a really good thing. Esteban signed for Milan, hasn't he? That was what I was going to say. Yeah, Esteban has signed for Milan. And that was only Ben Jacobs who was talking about that And he did say it would be towards the end of the window if we did anything about it. So, I mean, I'm not going to deny that we weren't in for Esteban, but I suppose the problem you would say is that you can't sometimes wait till the end of the window to do a deal if somebody comes in and is aggressive and says, we want to do that deal. And then I'm sure Man United would have been asked, and Man United probably said it was a deal we would have been looking at the end of the window. And we might not have done it anyway. It would have just been if we had some money left and we'd done everything else and we've got other priorities. So, yeah, it is what it is with Esteban. I think it's a deal that potentially we could have looked at, but obviously it's not going to happen now. God, there's so much to go through. I want to get back into your comments here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way, and smash a like. Let me get us back on here. With more quality behind Rasmus, would you give him one more chance, says Kay? I'm a massive fan of Rasmus, but I think we've destroyed his confidence. I don't think it's an easy job to be thrown up front for Man United every week for 2 years at 20. And I think we failed him. And I think the player that he was when he had that hot streak in his first season, I think there was a player there, but I think we've probably destroyed his confidence to a point where it's a big risk to go with him as the striker this year. And that's from somebody who's very positive about him. I don't think we can. I'd love to say we could, but I don't think we can put him as the striker this year, because if it doesn't go well, I think it's going to go toxic very, very quickly. So I can understand why Amrin wants a striker, because he's taken a risk on Bruno in the midfield. How many more risks can he take knowing that he's on thin ice with some fans and the media already? We should go for Kane in the January release clause of 65. No, thank you. I don't want. God, imagine Harry Kane in our system. Oh my God, he'd be deeper than Bruno. I mean, this is a striker that thinks he's a CDM. We've got 2 number 10s. He'd be playing deeper than them. I mean, he's a brilliant striker if you can tell him to play on the last man, but he hasn't got the pace for it either. Jay Bless, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much. How come Liverpool never went for Gyökeres or Sesko, says Rashid. Probably didn't feel that they suited their system, to be honest. Matt McD, would you still back Amrin if he wants Nicholas Jackson, says Kenny. I knew someone was going to answer that question at some point, and yet I haven't rehearsed it or even thought of an answer. If Amrin says he wants Nicholas Jackson and he thinks he can put Bruno at number 8 all season, then he's heading towards a point where I start to go, and I'm not afraid to do it. I don't know Ruben Amrin. I'm not going to blindly be stubborn about something. If he went for Nicholas Jack, if he did an interview saying this is the striker I want, and I think Bruno's number 8, I've got to be honest, I'd be having second thoughts. I'm not saying I'd be hammering him out or anything like that, but I'd be starting to question. Definitely.
Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video, because we all know only legends like videos, and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video, and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching, as always.